And what Brian's getting at and what we're trying to discuss here is this idea that these conversations are going to be happening more and more because the consumer is going to be presented with these options, whether it's through mass media like TV, radio, ads. They're going to start seeing a world in which this idea of selling your home for top dollar or buying a home for top dollar using someone else's cash is seamless, is stress-free. So you're going to have an answer to some of these questions. And to Brian's point, we don't know to what degree they'll actually have the market, but they're going to be part of every conversation eventually if they're able to be successful. Brian, when you talk about
let's just look at this purely defensively,
sure.
Jimmy. So if we say this guy's right, in 20 years, 100% of people buy we're on track to everybody buying their house from a company.
Sure.
Okay. Just purely defensively, what is your if you're an agent, what's your firewall against that raging fire that's going to consume the industry? The firewall at the end of the day is the relationships you have with your with people, right? With your farm, with your prospect list, with your past clients. That is your firewall.
Sure.
Okay. So if that takes off, it is that predestined that that's what the future is going to be. Then the only thing that stands between that and your future is your ability to maintain the relationship with the person, the human being, right? In your neighborhood, the person you put into a home 3 years ago, who's going to sell three years from now, so that person, when they, go online and go to Amazon and say, send me an offer on my house, thinks, you know what? I really value the relationship I had with Agent X, and I think she's going to still get me a good price for my home.
Yeah.
And it's just going to feel better for me to work with her. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work with Agent X. The only thing that is going to make that happen is sustaining the human relationship.
And I'm going to have some questions for you at the end of today's show to follow up on that. Specifically, what do you mean by that? But the reason you're right, Brian, not that you need my validation, is that many years ago, Amazon bought Zappos for, I think, around $1 billion. At the time, it was a massive valuation. They bought the company for $1 billion. And Zappos was an e-commerce company that sold primarily shoes, and all of us are probably familiar with some form of Zappos at this point, and they sell more than that now. But the reason Amazon bought Zappos was because Amazon uncovered something really interesting that you could not ignore, is that a consumer was willing to go to Zappos.com and spend more for the same pair of shoes than they would to go to Amazon, because there was an association with the brand of value, of trust, and they put a price tag on that. So when you can literally, from one click to the next click, everything else is equal, shipping same day, right? Inventory the same. A consumer was willing to pay for more money for the same pair of shoes on one site over the other site. And that's that relationship that Zappos was able to build over many years of a high level of execution. It wasn't like they sat in a room and said, let's deliver great customer service, guys. It was a high level of expert execution that allowed them to be able to achieve this sort of brand perception or value that consumers felt when they went to Zappos.com. I still feel it today when I go to Zappos.com.